Hey, what's up, folks? James and Cuervo from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining us. And for this adventure, we're going to be relaxing and doing some car camping. So it's been a very busy summer, and now that October's here, autumn is coming. You can see the changes in the leaves. You can feel the nights getting a little cool. So we're overdue for some relaxation. So you know the drill. We're going to be doing some car camping, cooking up some delicious food, having some beers around the fire, and all that good stuff. So thank you for joining us. We're about to start setting up camp. Let's get to it. So 30 minutes later, our campsite is set up. We have our tent set up. We already have our sleeping bags in there, all that stuff. We got a fire going. We have about an hour before sunset, and we are starving. So getting that fire going so we can get a nice bed of embers, so we can cook up some steaks tonight. Are you hungry? Yeah, me too. I'm starving. And then we just bought this from Walmart just a few hours ago. So if you've seen our past camping videos when we're out wild camping in a non-established campsite where there's no built-in grill, normally we'll make a ring of rocks and then place a grill on there, a portable little grill that we carry. But sometimes that can be a little bit of a nuisance because rocks aren't leveled, of course, so it could just be uneven, especially because if you notice where we're at, it's sloping downwards down the mountain. So yeah, that's why I just didn't want to deal with that hassle. So I've been eyeing this for a few months already. Might as well just check it out, see if it works. It'll make it much easier to, make our coffee and stuff without fear of the water boiling and then it's spilling over. And yeah, speaking of food, here is the Iceco portable fridge, keeping our food nice and cold. And of course, all our pots and pans are in that hidden woodsman bag. And then there's more produce back there that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Over here, we have the meat that we're going to be eating. Now, the Iceco worked a little too well, and it kept everything frozen. So we're trying to defrost it so we can start eating up some dinner, at least those steaks. And then we can, the rest of the stuff, which is the pork backstrap from the wild boar, and then sausage that we made from that boar as well. We'll probably be cooking those things up the next 2 days. But for now, at least some steak would do fine. And then let's open up the Iceco. So we have some eggs for breakfast. We have some cheese, green chili, some produce here. If you remember a few months back, I did cook a dish called calabacitas. It's a Mexican food staple. It's a stew, basically squash and cheese stew. It's very popular in the Southwest, Arizona, California, New Mexico, Texas. It's really delicious. So I have a video on that if you want to check it out, if you want to check out the full recipe. But yeah, squash, green chili, tomatoes. There's other things that I have put away over there like onion and garlic, jalapenos. And it's some really good stew. It's going to be nice and hearty for these nice cool autumn nights. And of course, like I said earlier, the nights are starting to cool off and we are pretty high up the mountain, so the nights will be getting cool, so we're prepared. Let me back the camera up. And yeah, I have 2 sleeping pads, a blanket, sleeping bag. I've been using this little those pillows you use when you're on flights. I've been using that lately as a pillow, and then 2 wool blankets. And in case it gets really cold later on tonight, I have my hat and a wool coat. So I think I'm pretty well prepared for the cold, for the dropping temperatures in the nights and in the morning. And yeah, backpack for changes of clothes and toiletries, and then my haversack for gear and all that stuff. Okay, folks, so it is dinner time. We're keeping it fairly simple for the first day. Just, you know, a small steak, some of that instant rice stuff, and then, you know, a jalapeno that was fire roasted for a little bit. So it is chow time. And of course, got to stay hydrated. So, of course, Banquet. So we already ate, we are relaxing. I am already hitting those beers, but Cuervo, being the sophisticated gentleman that he is taking a break from beer, and he's going to be drinking Black Box Cabernet Sauvignon. My French is a little rusty there, but it's wine, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. So you just crack it open and just drink it like a beer? Or do you have to put it in a glass or what?
I mean, you can put it in a glass if you want, but I'm just drinking it straight from here.
From the hood. Good stuff? All right. Well, check this out. There goes all our water. I dropped our water bottle by accident. I was filling up my canteen before going to bed. It fell, spilled all over my legs, all over my jeans, spilled all down this hill. So we're out of water. So I mean, I still have this much water. So I'm guessing tomorrow morning I gotta go to town and hopefully I can get a new water bottle. I mean, this thing got cracked. I mean, I was just filling the water and it just spilled. It just dropped and it just splashed everywhere. So that sucks, but well, it happens. This is it. That's all we got left. Okay, folks, so we decided to already call it a night. It's already midnight. We had a good enough buzz. I ended up, if you saw earlier, I ended up dropping our 5-gallon jug of water. It cracked, it broke. We lost basically all our water, so we have no way of making coffee in the morning or anything. So I got to wake up early and drive back to town and buy a new 5-gallon jug of water. So, yeah, did not anticipate that happening. But anyway, we are tired. I'm going to do my best because my pant legs are wet and I only brought one pair of pants. Very stupid. I don't know what I was thinking there, but yep, we're going to bed now. So have a good night. I'll see you guys in the morning. So it's the morning of the second day. If you guys recall, last night I dropped our 5-gallon jug of water and we lost all our water. So we need to definitely go buy some. We can't even make coffee. Honestly, I just wish I had water. I'm very thirsty. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of clean up, look a little presentable, wipe our face with the wipes, and then gargle some mouthwash, you know, and then head back to town, probably eat at a restaurant there, buy supplies, and come back over here. We're skipping the campfire breakfast. Like I said, we're going to eat over there in town, and then we'll just resume on cooking our lunch. So we're back at the campsite. We already went to eat breakfast at a local diner. food was okay. I much would have rather preferred us cooking our own food, but we didn't even have water to make coffee or brush our teeth in the morning. So we had to go to town, get some water, get a couple of bowls because we're making a stew tonight. And right now, before we start cooking and all that, we're actually planning to film a separate video or review on the Victorinox Ranger Wood 55, this beautiful Swiss Army knife. But before we begin, here's a little hack or a little trick that I've learned when it comes to reviews and doing close-ups like this with your fingers is always cut your fingernails, because even though my fingernails are not long, you could see a lot of the black underneath because of the soot, all the ash from yesterday, you know, stoking the fire and all that stuff. And there's always going to be some eagle-eyed trolls that are going to be making comments like, you know, cut your fingernails and this and that. So I've learned to always carry nail clippers in my truck. And right before filming something like this, filming, you know, some knife review or something, flashlight review, trim your fingernails, especially when you're camping, because you get a lot of that soot in there, and it just looks a little gross. So, you know, you're trying to make a really good impression on video. Okay, so we still have a couple hours before sunset. We are out of firewood, so time to fill up my bag. And as you can see, we found some good pieces of wood. They just need to be broken down to be more manageable to carry back to camp. So the first tool to test out, of course, is going to be that gnarly saw. Okay, so we have the stew simmering. And now here is the boar. This is a ground boar from a recent hunt that we did a few months back. We just browned it out over a pan. Make sure it's nice and cooked slightly. It doesn't have to be fully cooked because it's still gonna be thrown in here. Oh, this is gonna be so good. And we're gonna let this simmer for about 40 minutes. Well, meantime, dinner cooks. Let's have an appetizer. Try out that bottle opener. Oh yeah. So meanwhile I'm having my beer, Cuervo Negro, ever the gentleman, is going to be drinking some wine tonight. So a perfect excuse to be using the corkscrew. Nice. Pour yourself a cup, brother. What's it called, by the way? What's the... Casillero del Diablo. Something involving the devil. All right.
Yeah. It's good.
Some Blair Witch stuff right here. So it's been about an hour. It's good. I think it's ready to go now. So just move it around a little bit more and then add the cheese in the end. And we're using Munster cheese and I forgot what the other one's called. Queso fresco. There we go. It's kind of like a skim milk type of thing. But yeah, you just kind of mix that up in there so it can start melting on together. Now this stuff is going to be so hearty, so good. The night's already getting pretty cold. I need to go to my tent and get my coat now. Okay, we're just going to let it simmer in there just for a couple more minutes. All right, so it's dinner time. Okay, and last but not least, some tortilla chips. Okay, now for the taste test. Really good stuff. Really hearty. Oh man. Squash, corn, wild boar, 2 types of cheese, green chili, onion, garlic, tomatoes, jalapenos. Hot damn. So it's the morning of the third day, and right before coffee, Cuervo woke up before I did. He normally does, and he went out scouting, trying to find some elk because they're out here. And I don't know if through the video you guys can hear them, but they're loud at night. When we're laying down, they're loud. So he wanted to get some footage of them, and he ended up running across something really cool. So as soon as I woke up and I cleaned up, I came with him out here, and check this out. Check it out. Somebody was making a primitive shelter. Let me get a better view of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure, we can't tell how old it is. There's no bedding down there. So it may have just been like a day exercise and then they moved on. Or who knows, it may be older than that. I don't know. But that's really awesome. So I'm trying to get the whole frame, the whole shelter frame on the camera, and Cuervo's right there. Cuervo's about 5'9", 5'10". So it's quite a large shelter. 5'11". He's 5'11". So it's quite a large shelter. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So he also ended up finding a second shelter, and this one's downhill, so we have to like hike it down. But yeah, this one's in really good condition actually. We can hear turkey out here too. That's interesting. But let me turn the camera around. You see that one? This one looks a little bit better condition, a little bit more recent. Check this out. That's really cool. Yeah, really good condition. It needs a little bit of renovation, but just thatch this up when springtime comes with a lot of needles and all that stuff, boughs on the side. Put some bedding in there, and we got ourselves a little primitive campsite, and it's somewhat leveled the ground because that's the problem in this area because we're on the slope of a mountain. And here's where they have their fire. Yeah, I'd say we might be able to, this may have opened the opportunity to film a video in the future, a primitive camping video, now that my shelter's gone, the one in the desert. And that is cool. I can definitely see myself renovating this little spot and doing some primitive camping out here when springtime comes, because I think it's a little too cold now. Interesting. So while we're exploring this little shelter area, we also ran across a couple of mushrooms. And it sucks because I don't know anything about mushrooms. I'm from the desert, so we have basically no mushrooms out there. So I don't feel comfortable ever messing around with them unless I had like a trained, certified teacher. See, I don't know if these are edible. They look kind of like the ones that you normally get at the stores, but I'm not that eager to make a mistake, and before you know it, I'm in a coma, or something like that. So that kind of sucks because there's a lot of mushrooms in this area. I've seen some other ones, I just haven't taken any footage of them, but yeah, I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about that. If anybody knows or can identify what these mushrooms are, let me know. I'm not going to eat them. I'm just curious, so when this video comes out, I can kind of start looking into it. I have some kind of clue to look into that. Hey, little guy. Hey, buddy. Look at this little tiny guy. Just like suffocating.
Is that more?
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. It's probably the best coffee I ever had since I was born.
Okay, folks, so we are about to pack it on up and head on home. I figured we were going to be cooking some breakfast or lunch, but honestly, I think we're just going to pack it on up and just get something along the way. We are feeling a little bit tired, and I still got to get home and edit these videos and stuff like that. So the camping trip's going to be a little shorter than we expected. But other than that, I mean, it was cool that we found those primitive shelters. That's cool. I definitely plan to at least come to one of them and renovate it during springtime so I can start practicing some primitive, staying out there overnighters. And then other than that, I hope you guys can hear the elk, because even though we didn't really see a lot of them, we only saw one or two of them. I know Corvo saw one this morning when I was asleep, but I mean, they just sound so beautiful and slightly spooky at night. And that's about it, folks. So thank you for joining us. We'll be out here. We're going to be sure to come out here and camp again soon for a little bit longer. A lot more camp cooking on that one. So as always, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and comment down below if you enjoyed this video. Give us a like, and we'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.